Hi, welcome to another Tasty Tuesday on Christie's A+ Cooking. Today, E is for empanadas. We're going to be making sweet and savory empanadas today. I have already sauteed a half a cup of chopped onions, 2 garlic cloves minced, and about a 1/4 cup of chopped green chili. You can use fresh poblano chilies if you would like, or a can of green chili. I prefer my frozen Hatch green chili. I also browned about 1.5 pounds of hamburger, lean hamburger, and I'm going to add those sauteed vegetables. And then I'm going to add some other spices. I have a 1/2 tablespoon of cumin, a 1/2 tablespoon of chili powder, and about a 1/2 teaspoon of red chili pepper flakes. If you don't want it that spicy, you can tone it down a little bit. I'm just going to stir that in. And then I also have 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of water with that. And I'm just going to stir it all in. There's no need to heat it up. I do want to share that I grated Colby Jack and pepper jack cheese. The original recipe calls for just pepper jack, but sometimes people don't like that spicy, so I'm going to make 1/2 and 1/2. Now, a lot of people like to make their own homemade empanada dough, but I like to do it the quick and easy way, and so I thawed 12 Texas-size Rhodes rolls in my refrigerator last night, and then I put them out on the counter for about an hour covered, and that's what I'm going to use for the dough. I wanted to mention one of my favorite Pampered Chef tools. This helps chop the hamburger up really nice, and I also added salt and pepper to taste. And I've taken one of my rolls and I have put lightly floured my surface, and then I'm going to roll this out to about a 5-inch circle, or about 1/4 inch thick. This is also a Pampered Chef rolling pin. I love it because you can use it one-handed. So I'm going to take a scoop. Might be a little bit too much. And add some pepper jack cheese. And then I've made an egg wash of 1 egg and a tablespoon of water, whip that together with my whisk. And then I'm just going to put some on the edge. And then I'm going to fold it over and crimp it down. The last step you need to do after you've pushed them and crimped them, you take a fork and go around the edge to crimp it so they'll stay shut. And then you're going to just brush the tops with the egg wash. The oven is already preheated to 400, and they're going to bake for 10 to 12 minutes till they're golden brown. Now we're going to make our dessert empanadas. I saw some recipes, one called for pie crust, the other one called for phyllo dough, so I'm making half and half to see which ones we like the best. You need a 4-inch cookie cutter, circle cookie cutter, which I don't have, so I'm just going to use a glass. You can dip it in flour. This makes 8, this recipe. And you're going to take your favorite pie filling. The original recipe was for cherry cheesecake, so that's what I'm making. And I whipped 1 8-ounce softened cream cheese with 3 tablespoons of sugar, a tablespoon of lemon juice, and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm going to take my scoop and put about a tablespoon of cream cheese. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the cherry. These are Pampered Chef scoops, and I love them because they measure things out so nicely. And then you're going to seal them the same way. I have another egg wash. This egg wash calls for a tablespoon of milk instead of water. And then we'll just put around the edge the egg wash. And seal it. And then I almost put too much filling in, but that's okay. I don't mind if they. And then we're going to crimp them with the fork to seal it better. And then do the egg wash over it all. And then if you want, you can also put a little bit of sugar. I happen to have these decorating sugar, so I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the phyllo dough. These also bake at 400 for 10 to 12 minutes till golden brown. I can't wait to decide which one's best. Here is today's recipe. I'm very pleased how they turned out. This is the meat empanada and the cherry cheesecake, phyllo dough, and pie crust. If you're enjoying my videos, be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and tell all your family and friends about it. Thanks for watching Tasty Tuesday, and I'll see you next week.